Hello, I'm Priscilla Archangel, and my leadership insight for you today is building meaningful leadership relationships. There's a quote I like by Peter Drucker, the management consultant. He says, "The leader of the past was a person who knew how to tell, and the leader of the future will be a person who knows how to ask." And this quote made me think of another difference between leaders of the past and leaders of the future. The leader of the past was a person who had a distant relationship with their team. And the leader of the future will be a person who has a warm and meaningful relationship with their team. Let me give you an example. Have you ever experienced a leader with whom you had a lot of work related conversation, but upon reflection, you recognize that you really knew little about them as a person, their life experiences, their successes, and their failures? And in the midst of crises, did you know how it really impacted them? You see, because the leader of the past was good at telling, and he or she assumed a higher level position of knowing more, of directing others, and not listening to or seeking input from stakeholders. But times evolve, employees have different needs, and leaders who are adaptable learn new capabilities. And the simple art of asking what someone thinks, how someone feels, it creates a powerful learning moment. And it demonstrates that you value them. It builds relationship. It opens doors of communication. Many leaders today are trying to figure out how to retain staff in a world where employees are rethinking where and how they want to work. And one of the most impactful ways to retain staff is to build strong connections with them and to engage more deeply with them, and frankly, to be more vulnerable and authentic. Now, for most of us, the very thought of being vulnerable is scary. By definition, it means letting down your defenses and sharing information more personally and deeply, all while wondering why it should even matter to your team. Thus, some leaders shy away from vulnerable moments, fearing that they may appear weak. Over the past 2 years, leaders who have talked openly about the personal impact of the pandemic on their own family lives, leaders who have admitted to their own insecurities and have shared their adjustments and listened to stories from their team members, have developed closer relationships. Gary Burnison, the CEO of Korn Ferry, is a prime example of this. And each week in my inbox, I receive his blog reflecting on learnings from the previous week, reflecting on business challenges, national events, and interactions he's had with other leaders in his organization. And now I've never met Gary, but I feel like I know and I trust his approach to leadership. Someone might say that his most important role should be more about making strategic decisions for the company, but I would argue instead that his most important role is building trusting relationships with team members and clients. And in so doing, he's creating a culture aligned to specific values and behaviors that he wants to promote across a global organization. You can now decide if you want to be a leader who asks, if you want to be a leader who builds warm and meaningful relationships with their team. And here are a few ways to make progress on your journey. First, engage in daily self reflection on your own emotions. And this includes the ability to self regulate them and not dumping them on others, and recognize what you're feeling and why. Second, practice communicating in the moment with your team to acknowledge situations that everyone may be experiencing. Third, consider your own life experiences that have shaped you to become the person you are today. And which of those experiences are appropriate to share with the team? You don't have to share all the details, just enough to help them understand more about who you are. And fourth, ask them deep but not invasive questions to understand what motivates them. For example, you might ask them what makes them passionate about their work or what makes them laugh and cry. And this is just the beginning. It's showing that you really care enough about them to share parts of your life with them, and you want to know more about their life. It's doing your part to help them reach their goals once you understand more about those goals. This is part of the leadership journey. Thank you for listening.